Alrighty, so today we're going to be looking at how to set up an account on ACT.org. So the whole purpose of this is you want to be able to make an account so that you can see old test scores and things like that, maybe register for your own test later on after you take the test here at the high school. There's lots of really good options for you. So first of all, you're going to go to ACT.org. This is the official website of ACT, and you're going to register for a ACT test in the US. Obviously, we're not outside of the US, so that's the one we're going to want to pick here. Once you're in, it's going to ask, are you going to test within the US? And yes, you are, because you'll be testing here at the high school. So you will click on Create a US account. All right. For most of you, these two answers will both be no, but in case you have already taken an ACT test before, you might have to click yes. So have you registered and have you taken? Most of you will be a no. All right, so now you have to put in your personal information. Now it's super important that this information matches the photo ID that we would have. So whatever would be an Infinite Campus. For example, my first name is Andrea. If I were to write Andy in here, I would not be able to connect my score with my account. So it needs to be your legal names. It's also going to ask for date of birth and an email address. It's not really going to use your email address for anything, just to let you know about scores and stuff like that. So put in your legal names. So I would put Andrea, your middle initial, all that stuff. Then underneath you need to click the button saying I understand that by creating an account. And it's just policy information. So here I've got a dummy account that I created, and you're going to have to create a username and password. You can connect these to ClassLink if you'd like. Otherwise, I would just recommend writing them down so you have a way to keep track of them. So you should check and make sure that all that information matches with your own personal information. So you see your legal name, you see your correct birth date, you see the correct email address, because the email address is how they're going to contact you to make sure that you are the one that actually made this account. All right. So then they're going to hit continue, and then they're going to ask if you want parent information. Now, parents can't sign you up for a test, but they can let you know about tests that are coming up. So this is completely optional. It's up to you whether or not you want to include your parents, but you can only put one parent email in here. So make sure it's one that your parents actually would check if you're going to use this information. And it should give them first and last name for that parent. After that, they're going to ask for a little bit more information about you. So again, they'll ask for parent information in case you want to put that in, but then they want to know where you live. This is just going to be to help get scores to you. They also ask some demographic questions about gender, ethnicity, that kind of stuff. Notice there is an option to prefer not to respond if you prefer. So make sure that the street address, the city, the zip code, all that stuff is correct. Otherwise, again, they won't be able to connect to you. You need to put in your high school graduation year. So for you guys as sophomores, it would be 2022, I believe. Yeah, 2022. All right, so next you have to connect to your high school. So you don't have a high school code to type in for yourself yet. So you're going to just search for Neenah High School. So down here in this box, search for your high school. You're going to type in just Neenah. Don't put in anything extra because otherwise you'll have a hard time finding it. And then hit search. Now, I can't actually do that process because I can't connect this dummy account to the high school, but you'll be able to find the high school from there. Once you're connected, it'll take you to this kind of home page for you. Again, you should see your name, your email address there, and a place for you to register for tests. So first things first is right off to the left here, you see register for test. You do not need to do this for the test we will take here at the high school. But if you were to want to take an extra test, this is where you could register for it. Underneath that, there is a your test dates and scores. So this is a place where if you have multiple scores, you'll be able to see when you took the test and what score you got, which is super handy because you can compare scores and you can see how well you did. Some schools might even let you submit more than one score. Then there's some test preparation down below that. So this is going to be a super helpful link to you, and we'll come back to that one and we'll look at it a little bit more in detail. So then there's FAQs at the bottom in case you have a question you want to see if they can answer it for you. In the middle here, you'll see that you're allowed to send your scores to colleges. So if you already know what school you want to go to, you'll be able to connect to whatever school you want and say, hey, here are the scores that I got. So we're going to look at that test preparation. Now inside of this link, there is tons of options for you. The top 5 links, no, just the top 4, are things that you would have to buy or pay for, but they are available to you if you would like to do that. So they've got their prep guide, they've got a review set, all that kind of stuff. Underneath that is some free options for you that are really, really well done. So the very first option down here is the ACT question of the day. I would highly recommend signing up for that. It just sends you a question every single day for about 6 to 8 weeks. And it'll just help you prepare for what those questions are going to look like. They also have some free prep booklets, practice tests, some test tips, some test descriptions if you're just curious what the test is going to look like. But there's tons and tons and tons of stuff out there for you. So this will be your homepage for everything. You'll be able to add to it as you need to, or ask questions, or do any test prep that you would be looking for right here on this site.